Energy reading through reflection. Gauging aura, emotion, interference. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Mirror series where we examine mirrors not as decorative glass, but as perception interfaces, energy sensors, and nonlinear information fields. In today's video, we're going to take a precise look at the question, how can a mirror read your energy? This is not symbolic. This is not metaphor. We are going to break down how mirrors, especially when used with proper environmental setup and physiological awareness, can become tools for gauging auric integrity, emotional frequency, and external interference patterns in your field. Let's start by clarifying a principle most mirror novices never get taught. A mirror does not simply reflect photons. A mirror also reflects field structure. That includes the subtle electromagnetic activities surrounding the body, commonly referred to in spiritual circles as the aura, and in scientific terms as the biofield. This field is not theoretical. It can be measured, mapped, and influenced. It responds to stress, intention, trauma, proximity, and stimulus. And when you sit in front of a mirror, this field interacts with its own reflection. That interaction is not just visual, it is informational. It creates a feedback loop between your nervous system, your energy body, and your perceptual processing center. In other words, you're reading yourself through the mirror. Here's what this looks like in practice. A seasoned mirror practitioner can use the mirror to detect shifts in emotional charge, such as anxiety, grief, or anger, energetic congestion or fragmentation in the auric field, foreign presence or chords in the field, including attachments or projections, psychic interference patterns such as loops, overlays, or false self-images. This is done not by guessing or overlaying interpretation onto the image, but by training the eye to detect field distortion. Once you understand that a mirror can act as a feedback surface for energetic data, the next question becomes, what exactly are you looking for? What does energetic imbalance, emotional residue, or psychic interference look like in a mirror? Let's be clear. These phenomena are not literal ghosts or cartoonish shadows. They are subtle distortions in the reflected field. And when your visual system is trained to perceive shifts in light density, edge ripple, or atmospheric frequency, these become readable. Let's break down a few common energetic signatures that show up in mirror work. Emotional saturation. When someone sits in front of a mirror in an emotionally activated state, grief, shame, anxiety, or anger, the reflection often appears thicker, grainier, or oddly sharp around the facial edges. Sometimes the background appears darker than the room actually is. Other times the face becomes unnaturally flat or overly bright. These are not lighting issues. They are signs of emotional charge creating field compression around the body. Energetic fragmentation. When the auric field is overextended, traumatized, or depleted, the reflection may appear to twitch subtly, blurring at the shoulders, flickering near the edges of the hairline, or showing split shadow outlines that don't match your physical movement. In a dimly lit mirror session, this might also feel like part of your reflection is not tracking. It lags behind or looks slightly off axis. That's not your imagination. That's your energy body showing misalignment between layers. Foreign presence or chorded intrusion. This is one of the most disorienting but precise mirror signatures. You may feel fine, mentally calm, emotionally neutral, but as you gaze into the mirror, you experience a sense of distortion that doesn't feel like you. Sometimes this shows as a second face, layered faintly over your own. Other times, it appears as a flicker to one side, a sense of being watched, or a sudden emotional drop that feels unearned. These are often signs of chorded attachment, psychic residue, or projection energy sitting in your field, especially if you've had recent emotional entanglements, public exposure, or spiritual encounters that left you feeling drained or altered. Looping visuals or identity echoes. Some practitioners report seeing repeating facial expressions in the mirror that do not match their current emotion. For example, they may feel calm, but the reflection looks angry or anxious. This can signal unresolved emotional loops running in the background of the nervous system, often tied to trauma memory, social conditioning, or suppressed resentment. When you notice this, don't panic. You are witnessing a field echo, a neural emotional program still running, even though the conscious mind has disassociated from it. Now, how do you know the difference between real field data and visual imagination? Here's the baseline test. Does the mirror produce consistent feedback across multiple sessions, states, or observers? True energetic distortion tends to repeat itself until it's cleared. It may show up every time you sit, no matter the room. Or it may be confirmed by another practitioner working in tandem. Random flickers or fantasy projections tend to vanish quickly and do not leave after effects. Now that we've established what energetic distortion can look like in the mirror, let's walk through how to set up a reflection-based energy reading session for aura assessment or emotional fieldwork. This is not the same as standard mirror scrying. You are not trying to induce vision, travel, or receive symbolic messages. You are using the mirror as a neutral feedback interface to observe energetic data in the visible and subtle layers of your field. Step 1 is mirror placement. The mirror should be vertical, at least 12 to 18 inches, and positioned so you can see your full face, neck, shoulders, and upper chest without tilting or straining. Do not use a mirror angled overhead or placed too low. Flat eye-level mirrors provide the cleanest reflection for field assessment. Step 2 is lighting. Aura reading requires low diffusion lighting, ideally a single candle, salt lamp, or soft white bulb placed behind and slightly to the side of the mirror. You want indirect edge light to define your silhouette, but not illuminate your full face. This edge lighting exaggerates subtle shifts in the air, color, and light density around your body. Bright light flattens the field. Total darkness creates hallucination or strain. You need dim and defined. Step 3 is breath entrainment. Before starting the visual session, perform a few minutes of breath work. Inhale deeply through the nose to a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6 through the mouth. Repeat at least 5 times. This stabilizes the autonomic nervous system, shifting you into parasympathetic balance. Energetic reading requires coherence, not adrenaline or mental chatter. Once you're visually and physiologically stable, begin gazing at the reflection, not your face, but the space around your body. This is the peripheral edge where auric phenomena appear. Let your focus soften. Do not fixate on detail. You are watching for light refraction, shimmer, fogginess, tints, or outline anomalies. Common observations include a blue or white glow around the head or hands, often seen in calm or elevated emotional states. A red or orange pulsing around the chest or shoulders, frequently linked to anxiety, grief, or agitation. A shadowed dip or blur at one shoulder or side of the head may indicate depletion, psychic intrusion, or energy leakage. In advanced practice, you may begin to see color pulses that correspond to chakras or organ zones. These tints are not always literal rainbows. They may appear as warmth, coolness, or pressure at specific energetic centers. For example, a dull green fog around the chest may indicate emotional fatigue or heart block. A violet shimmer around the crown often appears during prayer, trance, or deep spiritual alignment. A gray field around the head and shoulders can indicate depressive loops or outside interference. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones. What sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.